Hello students, welcome to the video of chapter 4 Geography, Atmosphere, Weather and Climate Part 2. In previous video I have told you about the atmosphere, weather and climate, what are the structure of atmosphere composition, what is the difference between weather and climate. So now today we are going to know about the factors which are influencing temperature. The factors which mainly influence the temperature are latitude, altitude of the place, distance from the sea, prevailing winds, ocean currents, slope of the land, forest cover and soil. This you have learnt in detail in class 6. So basically these are the main factors which are influencing temperature. That means due to this factor the temperature can be high or the temperature can be low. Suppose a place at equator will be more warm, will be the hottest, and the place which are away from the equator will be of moderate temperature. And altitude means the height. Altitude means the height. The places which are near the sea level will be more hotter, and the places which are above the sea level will be more cooler. Okay, so now we are going to study about the air pressure. We all know that air is present around us, and that is atmosphere, and it is actually a mixture of gases, and it is tasteless, odorless, and air has different composition at different layers of atmosphere. So apart from these, we will know that air exerts pressure also. Air has weight. Air has its own weight, so it is exerting force on us, and that is called air pressure. So how the air pressure is distributed through the globe? Horizontally. Horizontally means the way the equator is there. The distribution of the air pressure is influenced by temperature. So in all the factors, temperature is very important. That means when air is warms up, in the places where temperature is very high, the air warms up and it becomes lighter due to expansion. The warm air then is weighing less actually. That is why the warm air is weighing less than the cool air. Thus the pressure exerted on the surface is less and a low pressure is created. The warm air's weight is less than the cool air. That is why the warm air cannot exert more pressure. So in the areas where the places are hotter and like in the places near the equator, a low pressure area is created. Okay. When the temperature is low, cooling of the air contracts and it makes it heavier, and the heavy air sinks towards the earth and they exert more force. This increased pressure creates high pressure. So the low pressure area is created where the temperature is more, and the high pressure area is created where the temperature is less, and the air is moving from high pressure to low pressure. So the warm air rises. What is the difference between the low pressure and high pressure area? The warm air rises and it provides clouds, reduces clouds, but and it results in rain or storm. But this is the low pressure area is a common feature, and in the high pressure area what happened, the cool air descends. That means it comes down to the surface and they are not able to form clouds. So in these areas the skies are clear, and it's a common feature in high pressure area. So now there I will show you a picture of all the pressure belts, how they are creating on the globe. This is a picture of all the pressure belts, that how they are creating different pressure belts on the Earth surface. You can see this is equator, and you all know about equator. Then this 23.5 degree north is Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree south is Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, so first I will tell you about this. I will tell you about the pressure belts first. These are the areas which are colored, are showing the different pressure belts. and the arrows are showing the different kinds of winds. First I will explain the pressure belts. The pressure belts are the areas near the equator. Equatorial low pressure area is created, which is doldrums. So equatorial region, you know that they are the hottest place on the earth. So this area is created, in this area low pressure is created, and this is known as low pressure belt or doldrums, it is known as. And then there is a subtropical high pressure area in both the hemisphere. They are known as horse latitude. Then we have subpolar low pressure area, in both the Arctic circle, and lastly we have in the North Pole and in the South Pole high pressure polar area. So these are the main pressure belts which we found on our Earth. Okay. So the pressure belts in equatorial region, low pressure is created due to high temperature, and these low pressure belts are called doldrums. In subtropical high pressure belts, that is also called horse latitude, this is between 30 degree north to 30 degree south, and subpolar low pressure area is 60 degree north and 60 degree south. In North Pole and South Pole, due to low temperature, there are polar high pressure belts. So when the low temperature there will be, that means if the temperature is cool, high pressure area is created in the polar region. We all know that polar region is the coldest region in the world. Okay, now we will move to wind. As you all know, wind means moving currents of air. The air which is on the move is termed as wind. Winds are moving currents of air, and according to its different features, we can divide the wind into three types. First one is prevailing winds or permanent winds or planetary winds. These three are the same. Second is seasonal wind, local winds or destructive winds. Okay. What are prevailing winds? A wind which is constantly blowing over a large area in a particular direction is called prevailing or permanent wind. That means these winds are blowing in a particular direction all through the year. They don't change the direction of their blowing. Okay, so they are called prevailing winds, permanent winds or planetary wind. These three are the same. Second one is the seasonal wind. Due to the unequal heating of land and water, you know that land and water takes different time to heat it up. So due to this, wind rises up and blows in a particular season, like the monsoon winds in India. Due to monsoon winds, we get maximum rainfall. Monsoon winds are southeasterly winds. Okay. Now local winds are the winds which are blowing in some particular area in some particular year or a day. For example, the Loo, it is blowing in India, in the northern part of India basically, and in the plains, northern plains actually, and it is coming from the western part. It is a hot wind and it increases the temperature in India during summer season. Okay. So now I will show you again the picture of pressure belts. In that picture of pressure belts, you have the different kinds of winds also. In this picture, I have earlier shown you the different pressure belts. Here you can see the northeast trade winds, southeast trade winds. So these are the names of the winds, some important winds, and these are the prevailing westerlies. These are the polar easterlies, and they are the different names of different kinds of winds. Okay, they are the names of the permanent winds, which are, as you can see, there is given some directions name. That means they are blowing in this particular direction. Okay, so you have learnt about the different kinds of winds. Now we will move on to the topic humidity and precipitation. Humidity, what is actually humidity? Humidity means the amount of water which is present in the air. The water is present in the air in the form of water vapor, you all know. So what is humidity? The actual amount of water vapor which is present in the air at a point of time is termed as humidity. And now what is precipitation? You all know that water vapor rises and air becomes water vapor and rises up, and cool air takes its place. When the warm air rises up, they become cooler, and when they cannot hold any much any more water vapor or in them, they become saturated and they come down on Earth's surface in various forms of precipitation, that is snow, hail, sleet or rainfall. So I told you about precipitation. I also told you about the rainfall. So basically rainfall can be classified into three types: convectional rainfall, relief rainfall and cyclonic rainfall. There is a picture of convectional rainfall. How the convectional rainfall is happening on our Earth's surface. So you can see that this is the wind. Warm air is rising up and it becoming cloud. When the cooling happens, warm air is rising and the cool air is taking its place. Okay, the warm air is rising, cool is taking place, and this way a circle is being created. And you all know that warm air goes up and forms cloud. When the clouds become condensed, it fall down as precipitation or rainfall. So it is a circular motion is being created, and ascending and descending of air is creating a circular motion, and due to this due to this rainfall is happening, it is called convectional rainfall. It is the most common type of rainfall which we receive. Okay, now we will move to relief rainfall. Relief rainfall or is also called orographic rainfall. It is caused by the effect of relief. Relief means what is the physical feature of that area particularly. It is actually the moisture laden clouds or air strikes some hilly land or mountains, and it starts raining or rainfall happens. And now I will show you. It is actually called relief rainfall because in this physical feature is very important, and it is basically happening in the mountainous region. So there is a picture. You can see that it's a mountain. It's a mountain, and it has two directions. In this direction you can see it is raining, and in this direction it is not raining. So what happened when the moisture laden air goes up, and when it comes over it strikes this mountain, and it becomes it widens up, and it started raining because it cannot hold any much water because it strikes it. So it's by striking this it started to whatever moisture it has, it is started to give up. So at this point the rain is happening in this side. Okay, now when the clouds reaches at this part of the mountain, it becomes its vapor dries up. It dries up. The air actually dries up. It has no water vapor. So in this area the rainfall there is no rainfall actually. So it is called it is actually called leeward side, and the place it is called leeward side where there is no rainfall, and it is called windward side where is all the rainfall is happening. So this is relief rainfall. And the last one is cyclonic rainfall. Cyclonic rainfall is happening mostly in the coastal region, because at this point what happens, the warm and cool air is converging, and due to this a depression is created in the temperate westerly belt region, and the winds converge towards the low pressure center. The lighter warm air rises and climbs over the cold air, and that close to the surface. Okay, and the boundary between the warm light air and cold heavier air is called a front. As the warm air, moisture laden air rises up along the front, cooling and condensation takes place, resulting in rainfall for a number of days until the cyclone weekend. So the cyclonic rainfall is different because it continues for many days, whereas the convectional rainfall is not happening for many days. Okay, so cyclonic rainfall also causes many devastation in the coastal region because it is accompanying with very strong winds. Okay, so this is all about the chapter 4, atmosphere, weather and climate. I hope you have understood this chapter very well. So go through this video properly. Okay, see you in the next video.